Japan's Recovery by Makana. Japan rejected the belligerence of the Cold War. It renounced entirely the use of nuclear weapons. In addition, Japan thrived economically while the United States and Europe were preoccupied. Japan was able to focus almost entirely on building an economy that often profited from the superpower rivalry. Japan was not prepared for the ending of the Cold War, and from this, they had to recast its dealings with its main ally, the United States. Like Germany, Japan had the remains of an industrial infrastructure. They also had a highly skilled workforce. These two attributes allowed Japan to easily shift into a production for peace instead of war. The U.S. occupation improved Japan's competitive position by redistributing land, breaking up the zaibatsu holding companies that had controlled the economy, which encouraged the growth of labor unions. Japan's educational systems were restructured as high school and college educations were opened up for the first time to millions of Japanese students. A man named Tim Shorrock shares his experience of the Cold War. After the war was over, he came to love Tokyo, Japan, and all that came with it. He explains how living there shaped a lot of its worldviews, including watching ordinary people mass in the streets to protest the Japanese government's utter subservience to U.S. foreign policy and its complicity with the war in Vietnam, eating ramen and donburi delivered in porcelain bowls by wiry guys on bikes, and so on. The following picture shown is of him at his Japanese nursery school. What did the United States ask Japan? Well, they asked Japan to join the Cold War struggle against the Soviet Union. Japan brought about how they did benefit both from the U.S. investment and from U.S. reliance on the Japanese economy for supplies during the Korean and Vietnam Wars, but Japan decided to not participate in those wars. Its post-war constitution forbade overseas military actions, as it states in Article 9 that the threat or use of force as means of settling international disputes. In 1954, the Japanese parliament established the Self-Defense Forces, which by the early years of the 21st century came to number almost 250,000 armed troops. Nevertheless, Japan's military budget was relatively small, as it put its faith in the American military shield and invested its money in productive economic enterprises. Between the years 1915 and 1973, Japan's gross domestic product grew at 10.5% per year. By 1980, Japan's per capita income at almost $10,000 per year rivaled America's at $11,400. Economists were beginning to speak of Japan as number one because of the efficiency and quality of its consumer products, especially its automobiles, its skills in overseas marketing, and its prospects for soon surpassing even the United States as the world's largest economy. Japan's economic success also turned on its ability to bring together government advice and guidance with freely operating private enterprises. Its Ministry for International Trade and Industry successfully guided Japanese industries away from sunset industries or industries that are expected to be in decline in the near future into sunrise industries, which are industries that are expected to be most profitable in the near future. Several countries of East and Southeast Asia, especially Korea and Taiwan, adopted this model of state guidance and private enterprise with great success. These two nations, along with the city-states of Hong Kong and Singapore, were often referred to as the Asian Tigers for their aggressive and successful economic development along the Japanese model. Works cited. Thank you for watching.